Hello. Welcome to our wonderful and amazing community. Hope your day is going positively well. Today we will be reading out of the 4-8 principle. It is easy to become overly influenced by your surroundings. That's why it's so important to protect yourself. Let's look at some reasons, specific reasons. You should guard your heart because thoughts are causes and circumstances are the effects. Surprisingly, many people have this backward. They believe that circumstances cause their thoughts. However, if you are dissatisfied with the conditions of your life, you now know what you need to do. Hold on, hold up your circumstances as a mirror and figure out what types of thoughts could be causing the blemishes you spot in the reflection. After all, you would never blame the mirror for what it reflects back to you. Your life today corresponds with your thoughts from the past. Virtually all causation is mental. If you want to produce a specific outcome in your life, you must trace back from that outcome and identify the types of thoughts that would produce such a result. For every effect in your life, there is a thought or crop of thoughts that are responsible. What you sow in thought, either useful or useless, manifests itself sooner or later in your circumstances. As your coach, I want to encourage you to start living more consistently with a central law of the Bible. Whatever you sow, you shall also reap. See Galatians 6:7. Put another way, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. 2 Corinthians 9:6. This law works 24/7 everywhere in the world for sinner and saint alike. Specifically, if you want to reap more joy, you must plant joyful thoughts and lots of them. It is simply impossible to produce a result that has not first been formed in thought. There's no need to take my word for it. When you look through All the Time bestseller, you will have God's word on it. God promises that all your actions produce reactions, that what you sow in thought or deed, you shall certainly reap. Consider Matthew 7:2. 3, 2, 1. Consider Consider Matthew 7:2. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Or Job 4:8. Those who plow iniquity, and sow trouble reap the same. In Matthew 12:34, Jesus asked, how can you who are evil say anything good? For out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. Just because a cause is not readily apparent does not mean there is no cause. Often there is such a time lag between the plane of thought and the visible plane that the connection to causation is blurred. However, you can determine causation by careful study of your thought life. Because your thoughts directly or indirectly produce your circumstances, monitor them closely. Monitor them closely. Your subconscious mind remembers everything. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Proverbs 4:23 NLT, the phrase the heart as used in the Bible most closely represents what present day psychology refers to as the subconscious mind. King Solomon, who wrote most of the book of Proverbs, was very much ahead of the curve when it came to wisdom, and this particular subject matter was no exception. Whatever gets into your subconscious stays there. This falls into the scary but true category. Any emotionally charged image or idea that is repeatedly held in your conscious mind is processed as a command by your subconscious mind. The dominant impressions in your subconscious mind sooner or later become the dominant expressions in your conditions. Because the subconscious mind does not distinguish between truth and fantasy, it accepts input without regard to present reality. In effect, the subconscious is a perfect servant, complying with the instructions that you give it. Once again, this can be either good or bad news for you, depending on whether those instructions are positive or negative. The more you claim your troubles as permanent fixtures, the less you enjoy life today. Yet, the more you affirm God's great plans and blessings for the future, the more fully alive you'll be in the current moment. On the defensive side, guarding your heart means protecting your subconscious from limiting, joy suppressing beliefs. On the offensive side, it means deliberately supplying your subconscious mind with godly, potential, releasing orders. When you follow Philippians 4:8, you displace self defeating thinking patterns and furnish your subconscious with clear, unambiguous directions for the future. If you are doing your best to follow the 4:8 principle, then you will eventually reap better fruit than someone who does not do so. Your responsibility is to convince your subconscious that the joyful conditions you desire already exist. I know that sounds a bit odd, but stick with me a moment longer. Is there a secret that could make this possible? Well, it may not be a secret, but there is definitely an answer, and it is faith. Authentic joy can always be recognized by indispensable leap in faith that precedes it. You can activate this faith by expectantly aligning your attitude with your prayers in advance of any tangible reason to do so. Your mind is a sponge. Think of your mind as a sponge. It acts on what it soaks up. And when it is squeezed, guess what comes out? You're right. Only one thing can possibly come out, and that is what you put in. Being aware of this dynamic can mitigate the damage negative exposures inflict on your personal growth. Most people simply don't pay attention to their exposures. Instead, they just soak them up. They listen to whatever happens to be playing on the radio. They watch the TV programs that the networks promote. They read the books everyone else is reading. They skim through the magazines left in reception areas. They get engaged in whatever headlines pop in front of their eyes. They contribute to ain't it awful conversations and add to idle gossip. They take a casual and reactive approach to what are feeding their minds, to what they are feeding their minds. Just as many take the same low end approach in feeding their bodies, when you put garbage in your body, you pay the unpleasant short and long term consequences. When you allow garbage in your mind, you clog your potential for joy, satisfaction, and lasting success as well. If junk goes in, then sooner or later, junk must come out. It's impossible to avoid this. If you are passively ingesting what our culture routinely shovels in, then you sorry then you will gradually become conformed to this world. You will not be renewed by the transforming of your mind. See Romans 12:2. Unless you make a deliberate and contrarian effort to do so, when you put good in, then good comes out. This is God's law of causality. You are the gatekeeper of your mind. To experience a life full of joy, you must reject the negatives and protect the positives God has placed or has promised to place in your life. Those who experience more joy don't necessarily have more to be joyful about. They just think differently. This option is available to you as well. Here are 3 strategies, which we're not going to go through. You can use immediately to help you erect a fortress around your mind. Remember, every moment matters. Think of the habits described below as the guardrails of a joy-filled heart. We'll just read the title of each habit. Habit 1, feed yourself with positive mental nutrition. Habit 2, start the day with joy. Habit 3, seal the day with joy. I love you all. I also wanted to pull some cards. So, you just give me a moment. Okay, there was Doja. He's laying. We keep wanting to call him a girl. He's laying right next to me, as you can see. Okay, I'll pull a few cards. The same thing that we just read about what it is. Watch what we're consuming through, what it is that we're eating, what it is we're watching, watch what we're consuming through our senses, what we're taking in. He tells me how he feels through music. He enjoys when I speak to him. He loves when I give him attention. Yes, your inner self is craving your attention, wants your attention, and it enjoys when you give it attention. Become conscious of your thoughts and discard all limited thinking patterns and replace them with beliefs that are more congruent to the reality that you desire. Become conscious of your thoughts. Discard all limited thinking patterns. Replace them with beliefs that are more congruent to the reality that you desire. The love frequency. Become a vibrational match. Hold a conscious intention of your intended outcome. Focus on its realness as an already existing fact. Think, speak, and act as if it is already so. Sharing yourself with others and allowing others to share themselves with you. Have an amazing and wonderful day. You truly do deserve to have an amazing and wonderful day. Mwah.